some of my favorites. Definitely The Fight Club, The Departed. The Departed is a movie by
Shrek.
DiCaprio. Shrek. Actually,
Shrek.
I'm not a big fan of Shrek, to be honest.
What? Get the fuck out of my podcast.
Alarmant et très bon, qui éblouit le regard des passants et attire beaucoup de clients. Shai bin Nana.
So, hi guys, this is the second part of the podcast with Mathias. Enjoy.
So, what else? Do you watch movies or a series?
Okay. Right now, I've been
Oh.
watching the Blacklist. Yeah, and I really like it. And I feel like my top, I'd say 5 series are definitely Game of
Mhm.
Thrones, Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders,
Oh, fuck.
The Walking
It
Dead.
became
I
so
really like
fucking
that show.
boring.
Yeah,
Just like Game of
yeah.
Thrones.
In the end, they fucked it up, just like yeah.
I know.
But still, I have a lot of respect.
Yeah, ولكن
The series, the
and
whole,
for me,
you know?
the final season of a show, or the final seasons of a show. Like if you start a perfect show and ruin it, in the end, you ruin the whole fucking show. I don't know. I just
Exactly.
feel like it must end perfectly. If it's a quality show, it must end perfectly. For example, هنقول لك أنا أعطيك واحد المثال. Walking Dead didn't end perfectly, because it didn't end at all. It's too long. It doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, they extended it, and
on the other hand,
became boring.
Game of Thrones ended really fucking soon. Like هنقول لك
early.
the last season, it shouldn't. Yeah, they rushed it a lot. Even
rushed.
HBO gave them حتى 10 seasons. ولكن the directors of the show were like, no, we have
Yeah.
Star Wars project to work on, and they took just 7 episodes.
And in the end, I don't know if you know this, but they didn't work for
What?
the Star Wars project either.
Yeah, semantic. And I was
don't know
like,
if you know
what?
this, but in the end, they didn't work
What?
on Star Wars.
So they fucked the show up. لا والو.
والله.
Fucking hell. أنا أقول لك my best show, I think. Yeah, no, Sherlock ولا
And
Sherlock Holmes?
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock. You mean the series اللي فيها Benedict Cumberbatch?
Huh?
It's so fucking perfect. I love it.
Fun.
It's so good.
It got
It's so
cancelled,
good.
right?
I mean, no, they didn't say it's officially got cancelled. هما أصلا كيديروا a season per like 3 years or شي حاجة بحال هكاك. و Benedict Cumberbatch و Martin Freeman عندهم like they're A-list actors, so like they act in movies. Benedict Cumberbatch has a contract مع Disney because he's Doctor Strange. So that's why they just don't have like they didn't officially cancel it. If they have time, they're gonna
And
put
some good
another
movies
season
are
out.
like some of my favorites. Definitely The Fight Club. You know The Fight Club, right? Fight Club.
Yeah. I know it. I didn't watch it. I know the story and I know
Really?
how it
was
ends.
spoiled
But
for you.
I didn't watch it.
The Departed. The Departed is a movie by
Shrek.
DiCaprio. It's about Shrek. Actually,
Shrek.
I'm not a big fan of Shrek, to be honest. Wallah.
What? Get the fuck out of my podcast.
I don't know. I
What?
just never understood what's so special about it.
It's a religion.
Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
Yeah, exactly. It's a religion. You can't disrespect Shrek.
I'm not saying it's a shit show. I just I enjoy. It's a movie.
It's not a show. It's a fucking movie.
I don't hate it. I just don't enjoy watching it that much. I like the acting.
How about Rick
I never watched it.
and Morty? I watched it and like I loved it when it wasn't popular. But then, like all things, when things get popular, they get fucking boring.
Billie Eilish.
I swear to God, Tayan, Wallah, Wallah. But to be honest, she doesn't have a singing voice. She doesn't sing aslan. She whispers.
But
She whisper sings. She doesn't have. She never fucking sings for
She
real,
does.
like with high notes and stuff. She never does. Give me one example. She did once for the
Lovely.
James Bond
with the
movie. No, the latest song ديال
there are a
الفيلم.
lot of songs which has her singing.
I don't know, but her brother has better songs.
Yeah.
Phineas has
I lost a
better
friend.
songs by far. Also, I started listening to the German group. A friend recommended it to me, and I fell in love. I can't give you the name because it's in German and I don't fucking know how to read it. But it's like An and شي حاجة kind.
My favorite band is The Neighborhood. You know The Neighborhood? Do you know the song Sweater Weather?
No. Sorry.
Sweater Weather.
I
Yeah.
don't know. No.
If you heard the song, you'll know it. But they're my favorite band. They've been my favorite band for like years now.
Yeah.
Lately, I've been listening to
What?
French rap.
I never listened to. I hate it. I hate it so bad. I tried listening to PNL, for example, and like I can only bear
and,
2 songs or stuff.
Alamoniac, right?
No, Odede and Mowgli 2 or something.
But yeah, like I have different phases. Like one day I'm listening to this, another day I'm listening to that. I'm never consistent.
Yeah. Now I can't find something that I like, an artist that I really enjoy and I listen to a lot. I'm غير ذاك a German band, ولكن I'm sure at some point I'll get bored of it. So yeah, fuck. We get bored of music. I hate that about
But
music.
then when you
get bored of your favorite songs.
Time.
Yeah. I know.
But you know what? Something I hate. I hate attaching songs to the wrong people. I hate attaching songs to the wrong people.
I don't I understand the fucking sentence.
Okay.
I don't understand what you mean by it.
Your girlfriend, someone you love a lot, showed you this song, and you love the song. You love it so much. And then you break up because she did something very shitty. She cheated on you, for example. So every time you're gonna listen to that song that you used to love, you're gonna think of a person you hate.
I mean, if she's the one who recommended it to you, of course you're gonna think about
You
her.
don't want to listen to the song that you loved so much anymore.
Yeah, I feel like you're talking from personal experience. Huh?
Well, next question. Change.
Next question. Okay, let's. Yeah. Since we're talking about songs, it's time for you to sing, my man. No, you're gonna show. It's a tradition. The two previous guests have done it, and then we're gonna move to
as much as
the ghost story.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
Since rap is the easiest.
Look, it's 30 seconds. It's okay. The word is not gonna end.
I'm gonna rap. I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna say the N words because I'm not black and I'm not racist and I respect black people. So
I wish we could talk about that. But we're already at 7 minutes. Like in short, I think I don't say it's أنا براسي ولكن I mean. I think we shouldn't give importance to words because that only gives them power.
Huh. You know what?
Yeah.
Next time, huh?
Next time, yeah. You're gonna come back. You're an
I love you too, Ale.
I love you.
So you're about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Yeah, let's go.
I got you stock off the realness. We be the infamous. You heard of us. Special Queen, bridge murderers. The mob comes equipped for warfare. Beware of my crime family who got enough shots to share for all those who want to profile and pose. Rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone. You all alone in the streets, cousin. Every man for theyself in this land we begunning, and keep them shook crews running like they're supposed to. They come around, but they never come close to. I can see it inside your face. You're in the wrong place. Cowards. Look, you know what? This time I'll rap something else.
Huh? Okay, take your time.
It's a song you know very well. It's a song
Which one?
everyone knows very well.
يلا tell me.
منو بين جولد فاطمة عرفتيه؟
Yeah, sing it.
بغيت نعرف معنى تال الحياة وانا زيرو ديرام وكيقمعوني الساطات كبحال البوليس كيعذبوا عمر وكيكونوا في الآفات راه عشنا الغرق شباب ولاد الناس خذوا وزن الكابات ما عارف انت سد الغلط وانا في حياتي كنجري يقد يسبقني الممات تابان حصلني بابا. I love this line. ترجماني في الطواليت في يدي ريحة الطابة. صافي.
That's good enough for me. That's perfect.
That's all you're gonna get. You're not gonna get any.
No,
for more,
look,
please. You need to pay me.
I'll send you an email for business inquiries, and then we'll discuss the price of your verse on my new song.
صافي. Mixtape coming soon.
Yeah. So you can come back on the podcast to advertise it. So now you sang وهندوزو the last tradition ديال البودكاست, which is a horror story or a ghost story or something that happened to you that is paranormal to you or to a member of your family.
I have plenty of those, by the way.
Give me the scariest ones and the most disturbing ones.
The most disturbing ones, since the paranormal story I have is so dark and scary.
Yeah.
Can I talk about my near-death experience?
A near death? You nearly died?
Many times, but can I tell you about one?
Many times? What the fuck? What?
When I was younger, I had my appendix removed. Got an appendix.
هي داك الزنطيط اللي عندك في your
الزايدة in your intestine.
Yes, الزنطيط. I call it الزنطيط أنا.
زنطيط. I had to have it removed by surgery.
Uh-huh.
So let me tell you the whole story. At first, I was at school and I got this really bad stomach ache and I was feeling horrible and I was throwing up. I went home. I had a very bad fever. Next day, I didn't go to school. And in the afternoon, my parents took me to the doctor. And lo and behold, he has appendicitis and he needs to get the appendix removed in surgery as soon as possible. Because I'm not sure if you know this, but what happens when you need to get it removed is your appendix, it gets inflamed and it's like it becomes like a balloon. And if it ruptures or if it explodes inside of you, it could be very, very lethal. It could be very bad for you.
Okay.
Continue. So you need to get removed as soon as possible. A few hours later, I'm in the operation room and I'm chilling. And the doctor looks at me and he's like, say the shahada. Like I'm like.
What the fuck? That's.
No. It's something I asked him to tell me. Like I told him, before you give me the anesthesia, before you put me to sleep, tell me.
Okay, but
because
like you said, how old were you?
I was younger. I think I was 15 or 16.
Oh, that's not that. I thought like you were 6 or something. Okay, yeah.
No.
Yeah, keep going.
Actually, I was definitely 15. I was 15.
Yeah.
I was 15, and so he was like, "Okay, I'm about to put you to sleep." And I was like, "Okay." I said the shahada, and things started moving around. Things started moving funny, and just like that, I'm gone. After what feels like 5 hours, I slightly open my eyes, and I see a very bright white color. I see it's so bright. It's like everything's white. And then I asked myself, is this heaven? Did I die? Like
Shit.
imagine, like it was so intense. The light was so white.
Yeah.
And then I started hearing a voice which sounded familiar. And I was like, oh, it's the doctor. I'm hearing the doctor's voice. And I put it together, and apparently what's so bright and white in front of me is the light, is the operation light. You know, that
Yeah.
circular light. That
Yeah, I
goes
get. Yeah, I know.
operation. And I slowly start gaining my senses. I start hearing things, I start smelling things, and I felt a tube in my mouth. Continue.
Mm.
The more I gained consciousness, the more I started feeling. But just like sleep paralysis, I could not move, I could not say anything, but I could feel everything.
Shit.
Continue.
Yeah.
By that time, I thought, the operation is over. I'm waking up after the operation.
Yeah.
But apparently, what happened is, when they put me to sleep, I stopped breathing. So they had to put me on a ventilator.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay.
So there was this tube in my throat. Like, imagine having a tube inside of your throat.
Fuck. Yes.
And you cannot move, so you cannot breathe. دابا تخيل معايا, like, hold your breath. How long can you hold your breath?
A little less than a minute, I guess.
But when you hold your breath, it's like you voluntarily stop breathing. You voluntarily hold your breath. But what if it's involuntary? Like, even if you want to breathe, you cannot breathe. You cannot inhale.
You're gonna get tired in a matter of like seconds.
That's what was happening to me. Like, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do anything. And I think the tube that was in my throat, I think the doctor was blowing on the other end of the tube.
Okay.
And every time he blew in the tube, I felt my chest go up, get filled with air, and it felt good because I was finally getting air.
Okay.
And then he would stop blowing, and my chest would inflate, and all the air would go out. And I would feel like, oh, I need air. Like, why'd you stop blowing? And it was that tube in my throat. It was so painful, and it was a very horrible experience. And after some time, I think I blacked out again, and I came back, but I still couldn't move.
Shit.
And I started getting the whole thing again. I am seeing white colors, and I'm hearing the doctors speak with each other, and I'm feeling him touch my abdomen.
Mm.
And then I hear the doctor say, "Ibda al-amaliyah," like start the operation.
Oh shit! So it hasn't started yet.
وانا كيسحب لي يا زعما the operation is over, صافي سالينا.
What the fuck?
So when they said that, when the doctor said that to the other doctor,
Yeah.
I was like, what? كيفاش? But I'm feeling everything. So I feel him like touch my abdomen.
You could feel him open you up.
Wait, I'll get to that.
Shit.
I felt him put his hand where he's about to cut. And when I felt his hand, I told myself, Mu'taz, if you're going to go back to sleep, you better do it now. Because if you don't, bad things are about to happen. So I feel him touch that area, and I feel this very cold metal touch me. And when it touched me, I felt like, okay, Safi, my heart is going to drop. And he started like cutting me up, and I felt it. I literally felt everything. I felt it all of it.
That's so fucked up.
You feel it all, and you want to move. You want to reflex. You want to push him. You want to do something, but you can't. You cannot move.
Oh, fucked up. That's so fucking fucked up. I didn't.
I literally.
I can feel pain, Anna, even though I wasn't even there. Holy shit, that's so fucked up.
It was bad. I felt the tears falling from my, like, I felt the tears falling on the side of my face.
Like, shouldn't you be drugged or some shit?
I was drugged, but later on, when I woke up from the operation, apparently when they put me to sleep, I had a problem with my breathing,
Yeah,
so they needed to lower the
the drug.
dosage,
Oh,
the
yeah.
anesthesia, so I can breathe on my own.
And it wore off, I guess.
Hmm.
Fuck.
And as a consequence, I could feel everything, but I could breathe on my own, I guess.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was
Dude,
so bad.
that's so fucked up.
But when I woke up, the first thing I said is water. I want to drink water. I want water.
Damn.
And there's
Dude.
Alhamdulillah salama, like good morning, you just woke up, Alhamdulillah salama. And I was like, nah, I want water. Where are my parents? And when I saw my parents, I saw my mother. I saw my mother first, and I was like, Mom. First thing I told my mom was like, Mom, I felt everything. And I started crying.
Dude. Fuck. That's so
It was a traumatizing experience.
That's even
After
worse
that-
than a ghost story.
After that, my life changed. I never saw life the same, because at that moment, when I saw the light and everything, I believed. Do you know what it means to believe you're dead? I believed, I believed I am dead.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, you're not dead. Yeah, that fucks with you. That really fucks with you.
Yeah. Shit.
It's not like, oh, maybe I'm gonna die. Oh, this is risky. Oh, this is dangerous. I am dead. I believed it.
That makes me think about ego death and the DMC, the ego death experience, where like everything around you disappears and like everything around you dies, and you're like the only entity that's still alive. And you like meet some entities, and then you're forced to go back. I wanna try that. I wanna try it so bad.
Do you have any experience with the psychedelics or
No, I
drugs in
don't.
general?
I don't. But I wanna try them, honestly. So, that was your near-death
Break.
experience.
Oh yeah.
That was like fucking scary as fuck, but like it was natural.
Oh no shit. It's
Yeah. So, have you ever had like something that you believe to be an interaction with something that isn't natural?
When I was in Saudi, I was younger. I think I was 14 or 15 around the time I got my appendix removed. I was going to I was going to places to witness exorcisms,
Fuck.
like taking jinns out of people who were possessed by them. So I witnessed, I'd say, more than 10
Okay.
exorcisms, but I'll tell you about one of the ones.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this father, he brings his daughter,
Okay.
and the daughter, she's been complaining about like she's been saying that when she goes to sleep, she meets a person and she talks to the person.
Well, that's a fucking dream.
No. Let me finish. Every night, she goes to sleep and she talks to the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Same dream. She talks to the same person, but she cannot describe the person. All she knows is that it's a male's voice, and that's it. And they talk. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's her story. Her father that brought her, he says that when my daughter at night, she walks around the house talking to people.
Yeah.
She walks around the house talking to people. So the sheikh tells the girl to perform a few rituals. No, they're not rituals, just read these ayats before going to sleep, and read these ayats when you wake up, and read this and read that. And she goes back home with her father, and everything's good. After a week, she comes back. with her father, and I saw her. I saw her the first time. I saw her the second time. She physically looked different.
What?
She physically looked different. Like it's like she looked like she hasn't slept in a week.
Uh-huh.
Looked like she didn't, like her eyes, they had dark circles around her eyes, and all over she looked like a mess.
Okay, that's fucking scary.
Yeah. So the sheikh was like, okay, explain what happened. What happened? And the daughter is like, ever since I started doing these things, uh I've been having things started happening to me.
What kind of things?
Unexplainable things. Like she'd go to sleep, and when she wakes up, and she feels like she just got beat up.
Like does
And
does she see marks or something?
Yeah, there were bruises on her back and her arms and her neck, like bruises, like purple and blue, like hard
What the
bruises.
fuck?
It looked like punches and stuff like that. It was really messed up. So it gives her another week. Give it another week. Next week, come to me and we'll see how it goes. And whatever happens, don't stop these things I told you to do. Recite these specific things before going to sleep, and recite these specific things when you wake up.
Yeah, okay.
She comes back the next week, next Friday. We held these sittings. It's like we sit and I'm not alone. It's just me and my friends and this sheikh.
Wait,
go and we
she went with you? ما فهمتش. She like what? Like you hung out together ولا شنو?
No, there's this mosque. Okay, every Friday, me and my friends, we go to that mosque because from what we heard, the sheikh there, he performs exorcisms on people.
Yeah.
So we just every Friday we like to go and watch because it's interesting.
Okay.
I don't know the girl. She just comes there every week to get the treatment, and we go there every week to watch.
Yeah.
The third and last Friday she came, she looked the same, if not worse. And the sheikh, he was like, okay, apparently there's something in you. You're possessed with something serious that's not leaving you.
Okay.
And he gave her something to eat. He had a spoon, and keep in mind, we're watching from a distance. We're not getting too close because, first of all, we're pussies, we're young. Second of all, the sheikh.
How young were you then?
I was like 14, 15.
Oh, so like before your operation or then bed with it?
No, it was before
Okay.
my operation. It was before my operation. And so he fed her something with a spoon. I'm not sure what it was, but it was white. And it was powder. It was powdery and it was white. He read something on it, and she ate it. And with his right hand on her head, and his left hand holding her thumb, squeezing her thumb.
Okay.
And he started reciting something. And you might think I'm bullshitting.
No, I don't think you're bullshitting. Because you saw it. Like when I see it on social media or stuff, I don't believe it that much because like I don't have close friends that witnessed it. But when when like someone tells me about it, it's more believable because you can't be like, oh, you wonder how did that happen? فهمتي? So of course.
Exactly. But I believe everyone needs to witness one of these things because it's eye-opening. It gets you thinking.
Yeah. Okay. So what happened when he held her?
Right hand on her head, left hand squeezing her thumb. He started making noises.
He started or she started making noises?
She started making noises. And when I say noises, it's not just any kind of noise. It's like screeches and like. She it's not like she's saying anything. It's just gibberish. She's just making some kind of noise.
Yeah.
And no one can understand what she's saying. She's just making noise. And all of a sudden she gets up, like pulls away from him. She gets up and she starts running around the mosque. And every mosque has a shelves of
Yes.
Quran, right? She started taking those and throwing them around and running around the mosque, making those noises.
What the fuck?
And at that point, all I wanted to do was, okay, I want to leave.
Yeah, exactly. That's my first thought. If I were in your place, that would be my first thought.
It's horrifying. It's terrible. But eventually, her father holds her down, and there are a few other guys. They hold her down, and they bring her back to the sheikh. And as soon as that happens, I leave. I just leave and I go back home.
Fuck. What about her voice? Was it the same like girl voice or did it change?
No,
It was
no,
the
no.
same.
No, it was
Oh,
different.
it was different.
It was
So
very
like
different.
it was
It was very different.
scary or some shit.
It was. Yeah, no shit. It was scary, but
So that's a story that you witnessed Sarras, because it's not even a member of your family or shit.
me.
And what I think about like ghosts, like جنون, and I said that for last podcast. I think they do exist, but they have their own life. So maybe they're like their own society, their own buildings, works. وكده. If these things exist, if these things happen, had interactions between jinns or humans, it's like rogue ones ولا شي حاجة بحال هكا. Okay, what else? Do you have another story ولا شي حاجة?
Yeah, but it's nothing special.
Yeah, this one was okay.
You see
Do you
things
think? Do you know what happened to her in bed ولا Safi just left?
No.
Oh.
That was my last time going to that place.
Fuck, I wouldn't step foot there saying I بدي شي حاجة بحالك.
Because before it, before that girl, I saw many people come and they get treated, and it's nothing this wild.
At least بدا يوقف ما عرفتش أنا I fucking hate ما عرفتش الرقية الشرعية فتحنا عندنا at least in Morocco it's fucking bullshit. Like راه خشي هذاك اللي عاد تشد because he abused women like الرقية الشرعية. He fucking raped them.
Look, رقية شرعية, there's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it.
Yeah, well, fucking someone's ass is definitely not the right way to do it, I guess.
So far, all of the ruqya that I've heard of in Morocco, they don't sound like the right way.
Yeah.
But still, even though all of these things happen, even though I witnessed exorcisms and I had
you're still skeptical.
major events, I'm still very skeptical. I'm still very, very like, what if it's not jinn? What if she's sick?
Sick or just acting or something.
What if she just has some very wild mental illness?
Yeah, and it can happen. It definitely can happen, Zama.
Exactly.
When we think about it, like exorcisms, if there is a right way to do it, and if there is a right way to do it according to our beliefs, هتكون هي the Muslim way. But what about like the exorcisms we use in the Bible and stuff? And they work. They make movies about them and they work and the exorcists. And I don't know. I'm very skeptical, Sana. I think it's like most of the times it's mental illness.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There is also the fact that كاين بزاف حاجات in the Quran that I guess were metaphors and we take them literally. I don't think jinns are one of them. I think there are a lot of things that we take literally.
Here's the thing about calling something from the Quran a metaphor.
Yeah.
Let's say there's this thing in the Quran and we take it as a metaphor. We don't take it seriously. Okay, if you do that, what tells you that everything else is not a metaphor?
Exactly. We don't know. We actually don't know. We can't know shit.
You can say, oh, Salah is a metaphor. Zakah, it's a metaphor.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Siyam,
it's just a metaphor. Siyam is just a metaphor. But...
So you really can't do that. You either take the whole literature literally to the word, to the letter, or you just call it all a metaphor and you don't.
ولكن there are some things that like things بحال الصيام بحال الصلاة and stuff. The Rasul talks about them and like he gave instructions and stuff. I'm talking about this I don't know, the stories that are much that like they have a meaning behind them, but much I can't, like I don't know shit about it. I can't just keep talking بحال I know.
There's another thing. There are some scholars. Look at the diversity of the scholars in one single religion. I said there's some scholars who say the Book of Allah, the Quran, it's correct. Everything in it is correct. But the Sunnah, everything that has to do with the Prophet,
Yeah.
it has some kind of errors in it.
Yeah. I believe that too. كاين شي حاجات اللي like 100% happened ولكن there are a lot of shit, there are a lot of things that didn't happen ولا that aren't true. Like there is nothing easier than making up something about someone that didn't exist. كناخدو هذاك الاكسبيرمنت ديال هذا ديال like saying a message and telling people like a series of people واحد مور واحد في ودنو. The message that's the starting message isn't the one that you receive at the end.
It dies out. It becomes
Yeah, because the Quran is the Quran. I believe it's correct, but for Sunnah, I believe a lot of things should be taken with a grain of salt. Yeah, I don't know, guys. If you're listening, and I'm sure you're probably not because you just listen to the highlights. But if you're listening, and some people listen while doing other stuff, they told me, the podcast is available on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube, of course. You can find the highlights on YouTube, like 5 minutes highlights, 2 minutes even. So from 2 minutes to 5 minutes highlights at most. You can find the highlights and the funny moments on Instagram. It's NE3NA Podcast, at NE3NA Podcast. And on YouTube, it's NE3NA Podcast. On Spotify, it's NE3NA Podcast. And same on Apple Music. And I hope you enjoyed this interesting podcast. It was my best episode by far, I think.
Thank you.
And Motaz, love you, mate.
Love you too.
Have a good night.